Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces, where we talk about watch collecting and horology. Today, we're going to talk about this Sinn UX diver. The Sinn UX, this specific model is the EZM2B. The Sinn diver, they have a whole series of divers, but this is arguably the quintessential diving watch, as it were. It does everything a diving watch should do and nothing that a diving watch should not do. It is extremely waterproof. It is highly legible. It is very rugged, and it is very well made. Now, let's start with some of the specific details. The watch itself is a quartz watch. The aspects of the movement, it is a ETA 955 652 with 7 jewels, and it is temperature stabilized and anti-magnetic. The interesting thing about this, and one of the reasons that it is a quintessential dive watch, is everything about it is designed specifically for diving. It's not made to look nice specifically. I mean, it looks nice, but it is form following function. If you compare it to some other divers, for example, it is extremely not your traditional diving layout. Both of these watches are highly legible. They are also highly waterproof, but they have a bit of a glitz and glamour to them when in comparison to the Sinn that makes these look very luxury oriented as opposed to performance oriented watches. I mean, something like this Ratto Captain Cook, these are both very functional dive watches. This one's even a chrono. But the Sinn is like, no, we're a German dive watch. We just tell the time underwater very well. You can take all of your other complications and put them on your luxury watches. This is a diving watch. It dives, it tells the time, and that's it. The bezel is very, very tight, very clean action. And although it doesn't have the loud clicky click that some bezels do, it has a very solid feel, and you have no doubts that this bezel is going to stay where you put it. The steel is German submarine steel, another aspect showing that they are intending this watch for saltwater depth operation. Not only is it submarine steel, but it has a bead blasting process they call tegmentation. The watches are called tegmented. What it does is that the way the bead blasting is applied creates a barrier layer within the steel itself. It doesn't add a layer. It's basically creating a layer within the steel at the surface of protective tegmentation to protect it even further from scratches and other damage, because it makes the surface of the steel even harder than it regularly would be. Another aspect of this watch that really emphasizes its dive status is, if you notice, it's extremely legible. Part of that is because the indices, hands, everything is just so sharply defined. But another reason is the watch is full of oil. You can really tell if you put the watch at an extreme angle, you can still completely see the hands, which is almost uncanny, the beautiful effect, because not only is the oil there to increase the dive capabilities, with no air inside, the watch is literally uncompressible, but it also has an optical gradient that matches the crystal, so you literally cannot see the crystal. Sapphire crystal, anti-reflective coated on both sides. The watch is water resistant up to 500 bar, and the case is actually rated to 1200 bar, which I think is an interesting fact that they're pointing out. They're like, well, the case will last longer than the movement, but obviously without the movement, the watch is useless. So it's only rated to the 500 bar, 5,000 meter depth that the watch is set for. You don't need a deep sea or a sea dweller to get that kind of dive capability. You can get it here for about $2,500 at retail, and about $1,500 to $2,000 used, and it'll outdive anything that costs less than $10,000. Just a beautiful, beautiful piece. The watch can also operate from minus 20 degrees up to 60 degrees C. So basically, it's pretty much mil spec. Mil spec actually goes to minus 40 C and up a little higher. But at the minimum, you're talking about automotive spec and a really, really rough watch. The size itself, it's a 44 millimeter watch that's it's 13.3 millimeters thick, and it has a lug width of 22 millimeters, so an even lug width. You could put all kinds of nice things on it strap-wise. I'll probably do a Fun with Straps episode with this one as well. So let's take a quick look at it on the wrist. A wristwatch check. I'm wearing my Omega Glowmaster, which is a fantastic piece. There's a review of it in the archive. I should actually do a renewal review because I've had it for a while now and have some new insights on it. So we throw the watch on the wrist. It has a very nice steel bracelet with a nicely, it's kind of stamped end. This part is a stamped shell, but this part of the bracelet is obviously milled, so it has a very solid feel, and it's very thick metal, so it's not your standard stamped metal buckle. And it's an H-link. It's a very clean look, and all in all, it just is a very sharp watch. So for a 44, because it's very tidy, everything's there's not a lot sticking out, it wears very well for a 44 and has a really good wrist presence. So that was the Sinn UX Hydro. Literally the ultimate dive watch, and definitely the best one for less than $10,000 if you're looking for something that just can dive really deep and looks good doing it. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. It really helps the channel.